Breaking on 4 News now, one North Spokane Fred Meyer employee in custody for allegedly stabbing a coworker. We are live with the latest.
Fall officially starts tomorrow, but the cool, cloudy weather has already arrived. I'll let you know if we're going to warm up at all for the weekend in your First Alert forecast.
A no-kill shelter in Spokane euthanizes at least 14 dogs within the last 48 hours. Why the shelter says it was their only option and why others say that isn't true. You're watching 4 News now at 6. We begin with breaking news in North Spokane tonight. One Fred Meyer employee stabbed by their coworker. That man is now in custody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kirsten O'Connor. This is all happening at the Fred Meyer at the Wandermere Shopping Center on the corner of Division and Hastings. Rania Kaur is live there tonight with what we've learned since 5 o'clock.
Kirsten, according to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, that man was an employee at the Fred Meyer behind me. According to them, they tell me that man had a mental crisis. He snapped, throwing things, and cut a coworker, a woman, in the face with a camping saw. I'm told she has minor injuries and is seeking medical attention. But for a lot of people shopping inside, they didn't know what was happening.
All of a sudden I heard yelling and someone was saying, "Stop it, stop it. Get out, get out, get out now, just stop it."
Now that woman tells me that she wasn't exactly scared. She tells me it was a strange but weird feeling she was having while this incident was happening. Now the man is in custody tonight and charged with 2 counts of second-degree assault. The Fred Meyer was placed on lockdown while all of this was happening. As you can see behind me, that lockdown has since been lifted and customers and employees are allowed to go back inside. There was a mess left, including paint spilled everywhere. I'm told that employees are cleaning up right now. Of course, as we learn more information about exactly what happened, we'll continue to bring you information right here on KXLY and on our website at KXLY.com. In Spokane, I'm Rania Kaur, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Rania. Fall officially arrives tomorrow night. For some, it already feels like fall. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to see if we are going to warm up. I did buy a new sweater. Okay, 2 new sweaters today.
Oh, 2. I saw one of them. It was very cute. Yes, more sweater weather in the forecast. But boy, depending on where you're watching me from tonight, you may cool down a little bit for the weekend. You may warm up a little bit. And you notice that we are very cool for the Palouse down into the LC Valley, only 61 in St. Mary's. That's where we have had the clouds and showers, and the further west and north you go, the warmer we find the weather. And Spokane and Coeur d'Alene have been right on the borderline between the cool, showery weather and the warmer and drier weather. We're at 67 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We have an area of low pressure to our south, and it is just batting at us here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Meanwhile, we've had more frequent showers further south over the Palouse and into the central panhandle. Let's take a look at our forecast radar, and we will see that we are going to dry out across the entire region as we get into the late evening. But then another round of wet weather starts circulating in counterclockwise by tomorrow morning, and that's going to keep things cool again down on the Palouse, the LC Valley, where we're in the sunshine in Omak, Republic, and Winthrop. Meanwhile, this evening, it is an overcast night in Spokane. We're going to be in the mid-60s at 7, heading down into the 50s as we head into the late evening. Those clouds keep that temperature from dropping very quickly. I will be back to tell you about your weekend outlook and another round of rain on the way for next week. That's in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris.
The complete destruction that occurs from wildfire losses is different than normal fires. And so it's much easier to be underinsured due to
Underinsured or no insurance at all is the reality for some local wildfire victims. And as people start to rebuild following the Spokane County wildfires, things can get expensive quickly. Natalie Grant reports tonight on how there are still options regardless of your insurance status.
We have now surpassed 1 month since the Gray and Oregon Road fires burned through communities in Spokane County. And for many homeowners who lost everything, now is the time to clean up and look towards the future. And that involves insurance.
This is a nightmare scenario. You think that you're doing the right thing. You have insurance only to find it's not enough.
It's a situation no one thinks they'll be in, but it's the reality for many victims of the recent Spokane County wildfires. Over the last month, many people have discovered their insurance policies are coming up short. Dave Fort with the Washington Office of the Insurance Commissioner says if you're feeling stuck, there are options.
There are items like additional coverages, maybe for debris and for other things that may apply over a policy limit. The insured person really needs to be in communication with their insurance company and require them to explain how all of the coverages apply to their loss. If an insurance company says something is excluded, not covered, limited, ask them to provide you the policy language of what is requiring them to limit that.
And if you haven't already, now may be the perfect time to make sure your policy is up to date and your coverage is enough.
You want to make sure that you talk to your agent or broker every year. Update them on any upgrades that you have, any changes in your risk.
Spokane Emergency Management is also offering financial help to people who are underinsured and impacted by the fires. Victims are asked to fill out a Disaster Assistance Center intake form, which will determine how much money they could receive. We have a link to that form as well as a phone number you can call for assistance on our website, KXLY.com. Reporting in Spokane, Natalie Grant, 4 News Now.
Well, as temperatures begin to drop and we take out our favorite scarves and sweaters, there are wildfire victims who've lost all of their warm clothing. Organizations in Elk are asking for winter donations to help these residents get through the cold months. Marissa Rio is in Elk with the specific donations that are needed.
As you can see here at New Hope Resource Center, there are a ton of lighter weight jackets out front, but come October, staff will pull out all their warmer winter clothing. New Hope, as well as other places in the area, are in need of warmer donations though. The staff at New Hope Resource Center in Colbert say many people affected by the Oregon Road fire are living in temporary structures, so they need warmer layers.
So we're gearing up for winter right now because we know all the families who lost their homes also lost all their winter gear. So we will have winter coats, hats, waterproof gloves, snow pants, and also snow boots while supplies last available.
Though the Resource Center does have winter clothes in stock, it's in limited quantities, so donations are welcomed. The VFW in Elk has also been helping wildfire survivors.
Now that it's getting colder, we've seen a lot more families coming in, and the needs are changing from t-shirts, jeans, to warmer clothes, boots, blankets. And now a lot of people are getting trailers, so they need more stuff and they need to stay warm.
Len says they specifically need sizes 30 and 32 in men's jeans. Also, twin and queen size sheets.
And I've been stressing quality over quantity because of our space is limited. It's easier for me to take items, hang them right up. Even if people bring them on hangers, it's easier. I can hang them right on the rack.
Donations can be dropped off anytime after 3 p.m. For more information on ways that you can help, you can visit our website at KXLY.com. Reporting in Spokane, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
The hearing to dismiss the grand jury indictment for the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students has been pushed back. The Latah County clerk cited an illness as the reason for the delay, but did not elaborate on who was sick. Brian Kohberger and his defense team had a hearing to argue the jury was misled on the standard of proof of the crime required for the indictment. The hearing is rescheduled to October 26th. Still ahead, we are tracking what could be the first big fall storm of the season, but will it put an end to fire season? Meteorologist Matt Gray looks for answers.
And Washington State and Oregon State are mulling over options about their futures for their athletic programs. What both schools had to say about the possibility of joining the Mountain West or rebuilding the Pac-12. Stay with us.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
Save your green and
At Just Between Friends, you'll find everything you need for your family.
I got a lot of clothing, shoes, I got a changing table. It's been a lot of fun.
Such a blessing to be able to shop, sell, and save at JBF.
Just Between Friends at the Spokane Fair and Expo Center.
See this? It says most people are going to need long-term care that health insurance and Medicare won't cover.
I saw that, and it got me thinking, if I need to pay for home modifications or in-home care, I am not prepared. Are you?
Not really. I mean, whatever happens, I just want to know that I'll be able to get care and stay in my own home as I age.
Right? I want that too. So,
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups, plus make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $3,500 total cash allowance on this Silverado with a TurboMax engine. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Tuesdays at Northern Quest are now officially Tuesdays with a capital 2. Together with Coors Light, we're doubling up the fun for Camus Rewards members every Tuesday with 2 times the points, $2 Coors Lights, double promotion entries, $2 food specials, and too many more resort-wide deals to list here. So grab your Camus Rewards card and make the most of your Tuesday with Tuesdays, only at Northern Quest. Details at northernquest.com.
At Just Between Friends, you'll find everything you need for your family.
I got a lot of clothing, shoes, I got a changing table. It's been a lot of fun.
Such a blessing to be able to shop, sell, and save at JBF.
Just Between Friends at the Spokane Fair and Expo Center.
We are just 1 week away from the first soccer game at the new One Spokane Stadium. Here's a live look from our studio here right across the street. You can see the turf is down, the seats are ready for fans to cheer on the Shadle Park girls team as they battle Pullman next Thursday, the 28th. Later that night, the lights will go on as North Central takes on Clarkston for the first football game. And we have been watching the construction very closely here across the street. 4 News Now will keep you updated. And you can actually check in on their progress anytime you want on our downtown Spokane Stadium camera on KXLY.com. Well, conference realignment has left Washington State and Oregon State uncertain about the future of their athletic programs. Both schools took legal action against the Pac-12 to prevent the departing schools from making decisions that impact the conference's future. And that has also put a pause on WSU and OSU's search for a new conference home. Sports director Julian Minensone joins us in studio now to tell us the options on the table for both schools. Julian.
Well, both schools want answers as soon as possible, Kirsten, but Washington State and Oregon State can't make any decisions until they gain legal clarity about where they stand in the Pac-12 conference. If WSU and OSU can't find a new conference to join, there is a 2-year grace period for the Pac-12 to remain intact. The idea of the Pac-2 is highly possible, but also unlikely. Both schools have talked about the rebuilding of the Pac-12 by adding teams from other conferences, such as the Mountain West. There is also the possibility of dissolving the Pac-12 with Washington State and Oregon State joining the Mountain West. There is no current agreement between WSU, OSU, and the Mountain West Conference, but the schools say the conversations have been positive.
Multiple conversations and looking at plans. You would ask if there's a signed agreement. No, there isn't, but that doesn't in any way, shape, or form suggest there isn't meaningful progress in our conversations.
Relegation has also been a popular topic of discussion across college football. Coming up later in sports, how likely a relegation model would be as it pertains to Washington State and Oregon State. Live in the studio, Julia Minensone, 4 News Now Sports.
Heading camping this weekend? Well, if you're headed down to Blue Valley RV, In Walla Walla, here is your camping forecast. Temperatures in the 70s with partly to mostly cloudy skies. There's some rain in our forecast next week and tomorrow. I'll tell you all about it after the break.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Nissan.
Lake Todd Creek Winery invites you to our annual harvest celebration, September 22nd through the 24th. Sip our best blends, learn about our vineyards, and snack on Elena's cooking. Come and help us celebrate our 42nd harvest.
Cheers. I'm a proud WSU alum, and so working for a financial institution that supports WSU holds dear to my heart. What we're really excited about is this summer we're doing the Week of Welcome, and every year people look forward to this as we do a wonderful crop art, which welcomes all the students and the entry to Pullman when they come in, they're ready for back to school.
VCU has been affiliated with the Crop Art Project since 2019, so this is our 5th year working with Stan Hurd and WSU.
You know, when the students come, you can see them lined up for 27 miles coming in. Whoa, we're back, you know, hey, and everybody kind of connects a little bit.
It's really special to see a fun project like that come to life.
It's a visual representation of the support that VCU provides. It's a beautiful piece of artwork, and it's something that connects all of our alumni and students across the country, not just here in Pullman. So that's what I love about it, honestly.
He's a beloved daytime soap star on General Hospital for over 30 years, who just revealed his emotional battle with 2 blood and bone marrow disorders. And now he speaks out for the first time. What does he want you to know? Tomorrow on Good Morning America.
Experience Minecraft like never before at Minecraft the Exhibition, now at the MAC. Explore the 3D world of the best-selling video game of all time and pop culture phenomenon in this dynamic and immersive exhibition. Step inside the blocky world of Minecraft based on actual in-game builds. Meet 15 life-size Minecraft creatures, including the explosive creeper and mysterious Enderman. Try the game and explore some epic creations from the community. Minecraft the Exhibition, for players and non-players of all ages at the MAC.
Lake Todd Creek Winery invites you to our annual harvest celebration, September 22nd through the 24th. Sip our best blends, learn about our vineyards, and snack on Elena's cooking. Come and help us celebrate our 42nd harvest.
Cheers.
Your forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, 46 degrees for an overnight low. Tomorrow, a high of 63, and this is subject to change. It's going to depend a lot on whether or not we see a fair amount of rain or not. We're right on the borderline. A little less rain, it's going to be warmer. A little more, we might be a little bit cooler. Winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I know that sounds confusing, but I think this computer model will help explain. I'm starting off at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning with the next band of precipitation moving in. And Spokane and Coeur d'Alene has been on the far northern edge of this activity for more than 24 hours now, and we will continue to find ourselves right there. But this model really wants to bring that rain all the way to the Canadian border. Here is noon, and we'll continue to see that through the day, starting to dry out as we get into the evening. But you may find some wet bleachers at Friday night football games, particularly if you're down in Moscow, Pullman, Lewiston, Orofino, Grangeville. Let's take a look at our most recent estimations on our forecast rain through Friday evening. And you can see the further to the south and east you go, the higher the totals are going to be. Meanwhile, we are dry. Once again, further to the north and west, Grand Coulee, Omak, Winthrop, Moses Lake, all staying dry and therefore quite a bit warmer. It's this area of low pressure that is the question mark in our forecast. You can see that rotating there in the counterclockwise swipes it's been taking at us and will continue to do so, as at first it slowly meanders from southern Oregon into southern Idaho, and then tomorrow evening it picks up speed and gets out of Dodge, and we have high pressure building in for Saturday looks like we're going to stay dry for the weekend, not necessarily Sunday. And then we have bigger things happening as we get into next week. And meteorologist Matt Gray will be talking more about that in just a moment. But first, overnight lows tonight will be down in the 40s and 50s with the clouds in place. Those temperatures will not drop very quickly. High temperatures tomorrow. We're going to be cool, closer to that area of low pressure in the 70s, further away. And Spokane and Coeur d'Alene are sort of stuck in between these two areas. We're the demarcation line, so we could go either way on one side of those temperatures. Fall starts tomorrow. Your calendar might say it starts Saturday. I'm going to explain why in the next half hour. But meanwhile, the weekend looks pretty good. We warm up a little bit Saturday, cool down a little bit Sunday, and then temperatures stay in the 60s through most of the 7-day forecast. This is sticking out to me, this 58, and we do have a lot more rain on the way, Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. Just a few days ago, if you can believe it, we were talking about fire danger, but that may be the last time we do that this year. Meteorologist Matt Gray is here now with an in-depth look at the first big storm of the fall season.
Yeah, even though there's been rain and cool temperatures here for a few days, there is still plenty of fire activity, as you can see in these red spots right now in the Pacific Northwest. Now, it was just a couple of days ago that we were actually smelling smoke coming in from the Cascades. And if the wind was different, we could be like what's going on in San Francisco right now, getting some smoke coming from the north in Northern California. But that's all about the change with this first big storm of fall right here on the horizon. As Chris alluded to, the last place I'd want to be this weekend is off of the northwest coast, because there's going to be some big waves out there. An incredibly intense storm going to be developing right off of Vancouver Island, and it is going to be big enough to really bring home some impacts here at home. The main reason why, well, that storm's going to tap into some deep moisture. You can see there in those red and yellow colors, and swinging around towards the PNW like a fire hose in the sky, or as we call it in the weather biz, an atmospheric river. Now, this is a big deal because it has been just as dry west of the mountains as it has been here in the inland northwest, and that is where the action has been west of here with those fires lately over the past few weeks. Now, over the next week, the rain on the other side of the mountains, it is going to be incredible. In fact, the most rain since March or April in many towns and cities up and down the West Coast. Multiple inches of rain are expected in the Cascades. And I tell you what, folks, that should shut down those fires probably for good, especially those fires in the North Cascades and around Wenatchee. Locally, we're not going to be doing too bad either. You see, when October arrives, many of our northern mountains will see well over ½ an inch of rain. And as for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, well, it's a decent amount. We may not reach September average this year, but at least we'll be close, which we've only had 1 month above normal rainfall in Spokane this year, so I'll take anything relatively close. This may be the first, but likely not the last big dump of moisture headed this way for the rest of the year, by the way. A few studies show that El Nino winters, they tend to push more atmospheric rivers into the West Coast, and so could be the first of more than a few warm and wet patterns that I expect to come as our seasons continue to change.
I'm in Medical Lake, where one local musician lost everything in the fire, including his instrument. Coming up, how he stays hopeful and how local organization is helping him.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Local at the Tin Roof.
The best new vehicles
make the best used vehicles.
And you know Wendell Ford Nissan.
But did you know you can find
Chevy,
Jeep,
Ram,
Honda,
Subaru,
Dodge,
Toyota,
Hyundai,
Mazda,
BMW,
Lexus,
and more.
Plus, ask us about Wendell's certified pre-owned vehicles, providing you worry-free protection.
The best used vehicles can be found at Wendell at the Y.
Drive for generations.
At Kaiser Permanente, we care for all those who make your family, well, your family. That's why all of us work together to give them the care and caring that any family would. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is you.
You're feeding it.
I will, I promise. Thanks to our Premier Rewards Visa credit card from ICCU, we earned enough cash back to stock up on puppy supplies.
But we don't have a puppy.
They're very convincing children.
Do you want to save energy this winter? Time to talk with the experts at Country Homes Power. Save on Valor gas fireplaces that distribute steady, even heat even when the power is out. Turn down your furnace and heat wisely with Valor. Shop the savings at Country Homes Power today.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life. You live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
At the Tin Roof.
4 News Now is brought to you by Findlay Downtown Toyota.
Even in the most difficult times after the Spokane County wildfires, people in the Medical Lake community remain hopeful tonight. A local musician lost everything in the Gray Fire last month, including his instruments. Local organizations are now stepping up to bring hope and music back to the community. Peter Choi spoke with the musician today, and he explains how he's staying positive with music.
What does music mean to you? To local musician Daniel Hall, music means more than just playing his guitar, but it's about healing and helping others, including himself. And he wants to let others know that there's a hope among the wildfire tragedy.
In the middle of rubble and debris, a familiar song called Wildflowers is playing, sharing a message that you belong somewhere you're free from trouble and worry.
It feels kind of like a nightmare, like this area doesn't look the same at all.
A local musician, Daniel Hall, lost everything in the fire, including his instruments. He says music is where he found his hope.
It's honestly just helping me heal, even though I'm still traumatized. But to be able to go out and still play music, it's hard to explain. I'm out of words right now.
To help musicians like Daniel Hall, a local organization, Future Song Foundation, is partnering with the Hoffman Music Store to meet the need.
For a musician, the instrument that they play is so incredibly personal, and to lose all of that was just a devastating thing to hear.
I've had so many people reaching out and met so many cool people over this. This trauma, that's one of the blessings in all of this is that I think I'm going to have, well, I already have more friends than I did in the first place.
Hall says his plan right now is to continue playing songs for himself and others. In Medical Lake, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
What a beautiful story. Thank you, Peter. We have much more coming up tonight at 6:30, including what's preventing lawmakers in Washington, D.C. from making a deal to avoid a government shutdown. And a no-kill shelter euthanizes 14 dogs in just 48 hours. Why others say this was not their only option. Coming up next.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
At Spokane Tribe Casino this September in the Winning Whirlwinds giveaway. Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., 100 winners will win $100 in free slot play. That's a total of 500 winners in September. Only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
The all-new Bet Ahead feature is now live at Caesars Sportsbook, located inside Spokane Tribe Casino. Make your picks online from anywhere before you place your cash bets. Only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
Hondas are piggy banks on wheels. Stylish, athletic piggy banks that save you money at every glorious turn. Legendary fuel efficiency, famous for its resale value, and now with great deals including 2 years complimentary maintenance, it's your chance to get into America's best value brand. So start saving money and drive happy as a pig in. See your Inland Northwest Honda dealer today. Honda can handle it.
Tina, the Tina Turner Musical. See her triumphant story and prepare to be ecstatically blown away direct from Broadway. September 19th through 24th at First Interstate Center for the Arts.
Dressing room peeping Toms caught in the act.
Next, Inside Edition. It happened to her when she was trying on a Halloween costume. It happened to her when she was trying on a swimsuit. Imagine looking down there and seeing a cell phone.
Recording your every move.
Then, they were born on the same day in the same hospital. Now they're getting married. Next, Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Concerns about euthanasia policies at Scraps continue to worry community members, former employees, and some city council members. 2 city council members, Karen Stratton and Michael Cathcart, are trying to enact an ordinance to ensure animals at Scraps are euthanized only when necessary. But staff at Scraps say euthanasia is always a last resort. Bronte Sorotsky spoke with those concerned about the no-kill policy, as well as staff at Scraps about the shelter's policies.
Kirsten, just yesterday, Scraps put down 14 dogs. The shelter claims these dogs were euthanized because they posed a risk to anyone interested in adopting them, staff at Scraps and other dogs. Yet former employees, along with 2 city council members, say more could have been done to keep those dogs alive.
Scraps is not a no-kill shelter. It is now a kill shelter.
Outrage over Scraps' alleged no-kill policy has former employees speaking out against the shelter.
Former volunteers, former employees, we're hearing from veterinarians, probably pretty steady for the last 4 or 5 months on questions related to Scraps and the euthanasia of animals.
It's led city council members Karen Stratton and Michael Cathcart to propose an ordinance. If enacted, it would ensure the shelter only euthanizes animals when necessary and never for space.
We are steadfast in the euthanasia policy, that we work with other organizations to take some of these animals that are deemed dangerous and build some partnerships. And we don't euthanize those animals just because there's not space for them.
If council finds that the shelter doesn't comply, its contract with the city could end, meaning another agency would need to step in. We took these concerns back to Scraps. The shelter confirms it did put down 14 animals on Wednesday.
Yesterday, the shelter director made the decision to proceed after a certification by a licensed veterinarian and a behavioral specialist to proceed with euthanization.
But shelter staff say it was the last resort for these dogs, whose behavior posed a threat to staff and potential new owners.
But sometimes it is the most humane option for an animal that is either potentially dangerous or has exhibited dangerous behaviors.
On Sunday, a vigil hosted by upset community members will be held at Scraps for those 14 euthanized dogs. Live in studio, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Live picture now of the brand new stadium that is getting ready to open its doors. They've got the lights on and it looks amazing. Our neighbors across the street, you can see the KXLY sign there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. We're literally right across the street. I love it. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. Mostly cloudy overnight. We have some light rain Friday for some, not for others. Fall starts Friday night. I'll be talking about that later in the half hour, and we have a dry weekend on the way before more rain moves in next week. Here's a look at our satellite and radar right now, and Spokane and Coeur d'Alene have been on the far northwestern edge of precipitation that has been rotating through the region throughout the day. As we go through the overnight, we're going to see a fair amount of clouds, mostly cloudy overnight, and then tomorrow morning, the next round of rain rotates into the region once again, just clipping the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. So we may see some showers in the morning and again in the afternoon. Our high temperature, 63 degrees, 72 is our average high. With that rain, our air quality is in really good shape. I will be back in just a few minutes with your 7-day forecast, Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. Measure 1 was the topic of today's debate at the Spokane Rotary Club. This is a proposed sales tax increase to fund a new jail and other law and justice projects. KXLY is partnering with the Rotary Club to host a series of debates before the quickly approaching general election. 4 News Now's Allison Martinez is in studio tonight to share a closer look at today's arguments.
Kirsten, today's debate was on Measure 1, the proposed 0.2% sales tax increase for new jail facilities and criminal justice efforts. Today's debate included Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles and Spokane County Commissioner Chris Jordan. Measure 1 is a criminal justice measure for Spokane County that would add 0.2% sales tax on purchases. 60% of revenue would go to Spokane County government and 40% would be allocated to individual cities and towns. Commissioner Jordan is against the measure, arguing that before the sales tax is imposed, we need to discuss the fine details of how exactly this money will be spent.
We need to know, the voters deserve to know, how much do these things cost, which priorities are actually in the plan.
Sheriff John Knowles argued in favor of Measure 1, arguing that limited jail capacity limits law enforcement's ability to keep the community safe.
There's a lot of things that drive crime rates, and there's a lot of different things we have to do to address them. Measure 1 allows us to fund an underfunded criminal justice system.
Commissioner Jordan is pushing to invest time and money into educating and surveying the public before imposing this tax.
We can send out surveys, we can engage people with lived experience, we can bring the corrections officers to the table, bring the experts to the table.
Sheriff Knowles responded that since purchases won't be taxed until April, there will be time to plan once this measure is passed.
What would prevent us from sitting down and saying this is about how much each one of these is going to cost? That's not going to take years. That should take a couple weeks.
A topic of debate was the success rate of programs serving those with mental health and drug addiction issues. You can stream the full debate on KXLY+. Both parties agreed that there are structural problems with the jail's current state and investment in programs to limit incarceration is necessary. The discourse lies in the timeline in which these measures should be put into place. If Measure 1 passes, taxpayers would see a 0.2% increase on tax purchases beginning April 2024 through the end of 2054. This means for every $10 spent in Spokane County, 2 cents will be collected. For more on Measure 1, you can visit our website, KXLY.com. Reporting in studio, Allison Martinez, 4 News Now.
Allison, thank you. This is just the first of multiple debates hosted by the Rotary Club this year. The next one will be between Mayor Nadine Woodward and Lisa Brown. You can stream the debate on KXLY+ starting at noon. As we head into fall, the price of airfare has dropped. Autumn airfares are actually 10% cheaper than they were before the pandemic.
This is in part due to higher capacity on the airline side and the opening of international demand this summer.
that higher capacity could hit a snag. Contract negotiations continue with flight attendants at 4 major airlines as they inch closer to potential strikes. Plus, the potential government shutdown would halt training for new air traffic controllers at the same time when they're already struggling with staffing shortages.
A government shutdown would stop us in our tracks. It would stop training at just the moment when we're finally trending positive again.
And the clock is ticking for lawmakers in D.C. to avoid that government shutdown that would impact millions of people. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy talking about another setback today after some hardline conservative Republicans joined Democrats to vote down a bill to begin debate on a defense spending bill. It's the second time this week that's happened.
This is a whole new concept of individuals that just want to burn the whole place down. That doesn't work.
McCarthy under pressure by far-right Republicans to cut spending significantly or potentially face being ousted from the Speaker's chair.
I believe that it is really kind of frivolous in the cuts because they only occur for 30 days. I don't think it would lead to any programmatic reform.
This as Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is in Washington, D.C., looking for additional U.S. funding for his war against Russia. That aid has become a major disagreement between Democrats and Republicans. Still ahead in sports, a look at this weekend's highly anticipated top 25 matchup between Washington State and Oregon State. Alex Crescenti tells us how the Cougars plan to come away with a win in this week's Chalk Talk.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
ABC News, honored for excellence with 41 Emmy nominations, the most of any news organization anywhere. Thank you for making ABC News America's #1 news.
It's time to heat things up with Falco's annual More Than Fair sale. Our Enviro Fireplace showroom is simply too big to bring to the fair. So if you'll come see us, we'll give you the best deal on all Enviro pellet and gas heating appliances. Enviro Fireplaces at Falco's, 9310 East Sprague.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader.
Drinking watermelon moonshine. Oh, Lord, when it rains, it pours.
The big 99.9 Coyote Country.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice, relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
It's the $180,000 plus van life giveaway. Saturday, September 30th, you could drive away with a new 2023 Pleasureway Tofino van and $7,000 in cash. Start earning entries August 1st. Visit cdacasino.com for details.
Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
This is your season to smile with Aspen Dental dentures or implants. To gather together and discover the moments that matter. To jump into the fun and join in the celebration. To help get you ready, your Aspen Dental team is celebrating 25 years of affordable care with an epic anniversary savings event. Don't miss enjoying a moment with $500 off your denture or implant care. Whichever option you need, our team of experts is ready to help guide your decision and start your journey. Aspen Dental. Book today.
A combination of fun and performance is why Kylie and I are excited to show you the Subaru Crosstrek.
The all-wheel drive Crosstrek offers an available 2.5-liter Subaru Boxer engine, giving you extra performance and power unlike anything on or off the road.
There's no shortage of space for passengers and a surprising amount of cargo room for your gear.
The Crosstrek has an 8-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, connecting you with your favorite apps and navigation.
Check out the Subaru Crosstrek and receive no-problem customer attention at Parker Subaru in beautiful Coeur d'Alene.
It's time to heat things up with Falco's annual More Than Fair sale. Our Enviro Fireplace showroom is simply too big to bring to the fair. So if you'll come see us, we'll give you the best deal on all Enviro pellet and gas heating appliances. Enviro Fireplaces at Falco's, 9310 East Sprague.
Oh, we got a great voicemail from Deb about why we keep talking about fall starting tomorrow when Google says it doesn't start until Saturday, and your calendar, if you still hang one on the wall, probably says autumn starts Saturday. And it all has to do with time zones. Of course, the autumnal equinox is at a precise moment everywhere on the globe, somewhere between September 22nd and September 23rd. And it is that nanosecond where the Earth's axis is tilted neither toward or away from the sun. That long, actually less. And essentially, give or take, the amount of daylight and darkness is equal at all latitudes. And that precise moment happens just before midnight in this time zone. The autumnal equinox, 11:50 Friday Pacific time. So it is Friday night. But in the mountain time zone, it's after midnight. It's Saturday morning. And of course, the Central and the Eastern, and the calendars really only care about this bottom one right here, that Eastern time zone. So we're on our own here in the Pacific time zone. So I've been focusing on Friday, but you may see Saturday as well. Maybe you'll be sound asleep, but I think we can all agree Saturday will be the first full day of fall. So we'll celebrate regardless. It's been feeling like fall. Our high today, though, we did get up to 69 degrees, a little bit warmer than forecast, thanks to the fact that that rain stayed just a hair to our south. It made a big difference in our temperatures around the region. If we'd had a little more rain, a little more clouds, we would have been quite a bit cooler. But 72 is our average high, and with the clouds overnight, we stayed fairly warm. Sunset these days, 6:50. That's only in 6 minutes. Here's a look at our forecast rain for tomorrow, and we are still included in the possibility of rain, where most of the precipitation, the cooler weather, will be further to the south and east. We're going to be staying dry further to the west and north, and that will have again, impact on our temperatures. Not so much our overnight lows will be in the 40s and 50s across the region, but our daytime highs. When we're dry with some sunshine, we're close to 80 in Omak, 75 in Grand Coulee. Meanwhile, cooler and clouder down on the Palouse and the LC Valley, and we find ourselves right in between those two weather patterns in Spokane. We have wet weather coming next week. Matt talked about it in the last half hour. Looks like Tuesday will be especially wet, and we're going to be cool too, feeling like fall at 58 on Thursday. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. More forever chemicals, known as PFAS, continue to be found throughout Spokane County. The Department of Ecology is blaming newly discovered PFAS found in Airway Heights on the Spokane International Airport. The airport is rejecting these findings, saying the Department of Ecology is in no position to confirm them. Jordan Smith is live in studio now to walk us through these findings and what the airport is saying.
Well, these chemicals are known for their hazardous effects in humans and their lasting effect here in the ecosystem, which is why these claims are so significant. On your screen now are the documents in which the DOE outlines their findings around the airport. These were published back in July. They marked multiple areas surrounding the airport where these chemicals were found. And among other causes, these findings suggest that the impacted areas are linked to the past use of firefighting foam that is known to contain PFAS. It's unwelcome news to the families who live in the area, already dealing with the aftermath of these chemicals from the Fairchild Air Force Base.
We're triangulated by this contamination, by this poison. I mean, I look at this beautiful place that I live, and this contamination is barreling towards the river and further contaminating private well owners, homesteads, agriculture, animals, and people.
And in a response obtained by 4 News Now today, the airport rejected the claims that it is responsible for the PFAS, suggesting it was likely the cause of the Fairchild Air Force Base. And they've asked the Ecology Department to remove the airport-related PFAS information from their website until both parties have had a chance to meet face-to-face to discuss the next steps they should take together. And coming up on Nightside tonight, we'll take a deeper dive into these findings. Plus, we'll hear more from Michelle and the efforts that she's taking to stand up for the community members who have been impacted by these chemicals. In studio tonight, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Jordan, thank you. Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups plus. Make no monthly payments for 90 days, or get $3,500 total cash allowance on this Silverado with a TurboMax engine. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Country Homes Power, Spokane's #1 source for quality hot tubs and swim spas, has truckloads arriving from the top American-made spa manufacturers just in time for the fair. Now is the time to reserve your new hot tub or swim spa. Get to Country Homes Power today.
Hello, I'm Lloyd Herman. If you need legal assistance due to an accident or an injury, put my 40 years of experience of dealing with the insurance companies to work for you. You'll have an appointment to speak to me within 48 hours. Lloyd Herman & Associates, 922-6600.
A huge part of many people's lives is debt, and it's just not something a lot of people like to talk about. A couple years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. During the healing process, I really accrued a lot more debt, and I knew I needed to find a solution. I went into BCU full of nerves and full of fear, and they helped me immensely. I realized the personal loan was the right option for me. These days, I am healthy, I have all my finances under control, and I'm a lot less stressed.
This is important information from AARP and BECU. Technology is a growing aspect of our lives, including helping us care for our loved ones. Virtual doctor's appointments, medical alert systems, and web-based tools to keep us connected from afar are important. But almost 70% of older adults don't feel that this technology is designed for them. The challenge is to familiarize ourselves with these tools and make sure new tech advancements support our well-being as we age. AARP and BECU can help. For tips, tools, and resources, visit this website.
Farming has always been a crucial part of the Inland Northwest. Syngenta is proud to bring you a tribute for our farmers.
Farmers take pride in producing the highest quality food possible. They work tirelessly despite the conditions each and every year to provide food, fiber, and fuel for the world through sustainable practices.
At Syngenta, we want to say thank you to all farmers for working together to adopt new technologies to enhance production.
Recognizing the backbone of our economy, a tribute for our farmers. Brought to you by Syngenta.
Inside Edition.
These are the stories that impact your life.
Change is a-comin'. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minnesota. Conference realignment has kept leftover schools such as Washington State and Oregon State wondering how to remain competitive in the current college football landscape. It's given way to the idea of relegation and promotion. This model is commonly used in European soccer, in which teams are promoted or relegated at the end of the season based on performance. It's too early to tell what a relegation model would look like and how many teams would be involved. Washington State and Oregon State remain uncertain about their futures, but WSU Athletic Director Pat Chun does not see the Cougars and Beavers participating in such a model, but it is something that both schools say is imminent.
Those that are investing, as an example, in the product, football in this case, at a high level would be playing each other more often. I think as you think about the future of even media rights, I think a sort of relegation model, either in unequal distribution, a contraction of teams and or peer relegation will take place. I think that's coming.
Now we're going to send it over to Alex Crescenti, who has more on the actual matchup between the Cougars and Beavers in this week's Chalk Talk.
Well, Julian, this game's week for the Cougars is going to have a very familiar feeling to it. A top 25 program coming to town that brings with it one of the best rushing attacks in the nation. Now, we could be realistically talking about either Oregon State or Wisconsin at this point, but the objective for Wazoo is going to remain the same on the defensive side of the ball. Stop the run, and your odds of winning are going to go up. If we wind the clocks back a year and travel down to Corvallis, Oregon State didn't have too many explosive plays, but the yardage was gained in chunks as they rushed for 203 yards in their 24-10 win against Washington State. Now, fast forward a year, and not a whole lot has changed. Through the first 3 games of the season, OSU is averaging 219 yards on the ground, which ranks 15th in the nation, and their 41 points per game are good enough for 19th. But with quarterback DJ Uiagalelei under center, there's different threat to look out for as well.
The challenge is real. I think our strain the first 2 days of physical preparation has been real. You see our scout linemen really revving it up. It's interesting because, you know, we used to play in the old Mountain West used to play like Air Force, and it was run, run, run. But one of your biggest concerns was also the play action pass shot game. Like, can you limit their explosive passes, because that makes you chunk the field? Can you at least make them earn it? And I think there's just such an interesting dynamic that their offense has. Yes, it is cutting the head off the snake. It is stopping the run. It is being disciplined. But, man, they'll take them some shots down the field, and the quarterback is really good at leveling the ball in there. So we got to prevent those explosive plays, too, to make them earn everything.
Their pro-style offense, just how much they run 11 and 12 person, and how they'll run, and then get that play action going. It's just going to be sound, disciplined football and just making sure we do our jobs and just flying around.
Now, I'm not sure if we're going to see a shootout on Saturday evening, but if the Cougs offense can continue to play like we've seen the first few weeks of the season, it's likely they'll be 4-0 for the first time since 2017. Julian, send it back over to you.
All right, Alex, and kickoff is at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Tune into 4 News now after the game for a live report from Pullman. That'll wrap us up for sports.
Julie and Alex, thank you. 4 News Now and STCU are honoring volunteers who truly make a difference with their time, supporting nonprofit organizations in our area. Today, we're proud to announce that Jeff Sherwood has been awarded a $1,000 grant to help with his volunteering efforts. Jeff helps process donations, interacts with customers, donates, and even cooks for the employees at Habitat for Humanity's rehab store in Hayden.
We make projects possible for people that couldn't afford them otherwise.
The entire community benefits from the kindness and selfless support Jeff offers to area schools, churches, and people in need in our lower income communities. So thank you to Jeff for his example and volunteering efforts. And a big thanks to STCU for making sure volunteers count.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Come home to flooring for the whole family at Great Floors. Elevate your space with beautiful flooring for the whole family, including the 4-legged ones. Great Floors offers a large selection of Shaw Pet Perfect flooring with exclusive discounts. Shop carpet, laminate, and hardwood at Great Floors. Ask about exclusive Great Floors 12-month financing options. Visit a showroom today and live life on Great Floors.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. The winning is just the beginning.
It's the $180,000 plus van life giveaway. Saturday, September 30th, you could drive away with a new 2023 Pleasureway Tofino van and $7,000 in cash. Start earning entries August 1st. Visit cdacasino.com for details.
Go to Lake Casino. The winning is just the beginning.
Get $200 with a new checking account from Horizon Credit Union. We're here to guide you towards your dreams and put some extra cash in your pocket. Sign up in branch or online with the Get 200 promo code today.
Coeur d'Alene Denture Clinic is locally owned and operated and has been providing personalized, comfortable, and satisfying care to our clients for over 30 years. Our licensed denturists are trained in the latest techniques in the construction, development, and preparatory work of a denture. Full dentures, implant attachments, repairs, fittings, adjustments, we do it all. Every denture is made to look as close as possible to your natural teeth. With our knowledge and friendly staff, competitive costs, and quality of service, you'll leave Coeur d'Alene Denture Clinic smiling.
Next ET, it's a new coaching era on The Voice.
Well, hey there.
We're with Reba, Niall, John, and Gwen back for more.
Next ET. Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
It's the opportunity of a lifetime.
This might be my time to find love.
Wow. Let the journey begin.
Okay, sports team, it is going to be more than 20 degrees cooler for Friday night football tomorrow than it was last Friday. You have been warned, dress appropriately.
Oh, I thought shorts weather. It's no problem.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to say you're welcome. I hope you love it. I should have.